So today's topic, we started out with earlier. Is there a difference between a boundary and a barrier? Uh huh.
Something that you have to stay in that area, stay around this area. You can't go
Outside.
outside that area. What's the
Okay.
outside that person?
Okay.
And what was the next?
A barrier.
I think they're very close. They're very similar.
Okay.
They're very similar in a sense.
So
They have the same characteristics. They have the same meaning
Okay.
to the idea of whatever you make the change to it, mental and physical.
Okay. Do you? So let me give you my example of a boundary and a barrier. A boundary is like you got a house, and then it's like you got your fence, right? The white picket fence that you go through. That white picket fence is like your boundary. Your neighbor can't cross it. Y'all can speak, yet there's certain things written in stone that you just can't cross, right? A barrier. Imagine the fence at like a prison. You got that fence with the barbed wire over the top. If you climb it, huh?
One is not meant to cross, the other you can't cross.
You can, but they probably be risky.
If you do the barrier, you'll get cut because the barbed wire is going to cut you. So it's almost like the
One is
barrier.
a little more severe than the other.
One is more defined.
So the question is,
What's the difference between a boundary and a barrier?
I would say a boundary is healthy
Okay.
and barriers can be unhealthy.
Because you don't tell people how definitive you don't want to get
When I
crossed.
think of barriers, I'm thinking like that could be mental barriers, it could be walls, mental
Right.
blocks,
Right.
stuff like that. A lot of times the barriers are more mental than anything.
Okay, you gave me another. Okay, so what if that just sparked a thought? What if you say a boundary is love, a barrier is fear?
Right, right.
Right. If you think about it mentally,
Yeah, that's that fight or flight, you know.
right. But you're gonna try to cross the barrier. You're gonna try to climb the fence, whether you get cut or not. You're gonna still take that risk, right?
Boundaries are crossed every day, but barriers, like, you mentally make sure that certain barriers don't get crossed. But boundaries could get crossed easily.
A boundary could get crossed easily.
Yeah. If you don't stand on it.
Oh, okay.
All mental, from the mental side. I'm not
Right.
talking physically.
Okay.
Mentally.
So mentally, a boundary could get crossed easily mentally. Yet a barrier is like, I'm not doing that, so I'm not going there, and I'm not gonna do it.
Standing on that, no matter what, it's like you said, the prison fence is like
Right.
you're not getting out if you want to.
You could try, but you're gonna get cut on the way out.
Yeah.
I was using that like with examples with other people where, let's say, you're not definitive about your boundaries with friends, let's say. They're climbing that fence every other day and they're getting cut, but you're like, they don't want to get cut, but you're like, okay, why you keep trying to climb over the fence? It's there for a reason, but I guess it's so unclear. You can see through the barrier, you can see through that fence, try to come across it and see what's going to happen to you, right? So would you say that you need both, a boundary and a barrier?
Yes.
You need both. Okay. It's the balance, right? Because I guess the main topic was, do boundaries create balance?
I would say yeah.
Boundaries create balance. Okay. So going back to the mental aspect of it, if it's just you against you, because that's your biggest enemy anyway, it's yourself. How do you determine what's a barrier and what's a boundary? Until you experience it.
Come down to like doing self-work.
Okay.
Understanding what boundaries need to be set, but also understanding what barriers you might have up that might not be serving you. Because a lot of times people go through stuff and out of trauma, they put barriers up.
Okay. But not realizing if they actually go past it,
Yeah,
they might be able to help.
Barriers, but sometimes you still carrying them.
Okay.
You're actually hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself by having barriers in your own mind.
But what if, let's go to like a roller coaster. Let's say you're about to ride one of them Six Flag roller coasters with your feet are dangling, you got your little 3-piece on, whatever. And let's say you've seen like on the news years ago, a little girl fell from the roller coaster and she didn't make it, right? That's in your mind.
Yeah, every time.
So let's say you get back on the roller coaster again and you're like, damn, I do remember that story about the little girl, but that's not me though. What if I might actually enjoy it? How do you get past that, knowing that that happened to somebody else, even though it's not you?
But that's where courage comes in. You know, it takes courage
Okay.
to overcome barriers.
Okay. So let's go in real life. Let's say you had a traumatic relationship with a mate in the past, and you have this new mate, and some of the things that she wants to do is some of the things that traumatize you from your old mate. Are you open to bringing down those boundaries?
It has to be if you open to growth. So it's going to take courage.
Do you weigh out the what if it happens again or what if it doesn't?
Well, you can't go into any situation
With that, right? Okay.
But if you move forward, you gotta move forward, but you gotta be open enough to see what happens. Now, if it happens again, then you know you definitely can't do it next time. But you gotta
Okay.
stay,
You got to do it.
You gotta live
Okay.
through it.
So what if, let's say, you meet another mate and she wants to do everything that you never tried, even thought of doing? Are you open to it? You'll try it. Okay. So you love trying new things. Okay. Because a lot of males will say they don't like trying out the new if they haven't done it before. Like it could be zip lining or something.
Shit, I'm glad that's crazy. First time I went zip lining, yeah, it was good, man.
You enjoyed
It
it?
was an amazing experience.
Really?
I never did it before. I was talking
Okay.
trash the whole time.
Hey, how you doing?
Talking trash the whole time.
Okay.
Actually got out there and did it at the time of my life.
See? Okay. So you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I would.
Why not?
I was like, man, this is white people stuff. This corny. This would be a waste of money.
Oh, so you were complaining before you even enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's funny you said that this is some white people stuff because if you notice, what they want to do is what we do on a regular day. So if we actually enjoy what they do, we might actually enjoy and be more free in our concept of living, opposed to them always, they're going to want to do what we do regardless, right? Yet getting out there and seeing life from a different angle is really different. It's really different, especially let's say if you come up close to like wild animals or some stuff like that. That's a different concept of life, right? So would you say that your mental boundaries create physical barriers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So at what point do you bring down the mental boundaries to open up to physical barriers? Does it take somebody else outside of you to do it?
I say it just takes a healthy environment.
Okay. So let's say a part of you wanted to start something new. Let's say it's been something that you've been wanting to do forever, right? And your environment is not healthy, but you still have to do it. Do you still find peace amongst the chaos?
That just comes from experience. You know, 'cause nobody naturally finds peace in chaos. It takes experiences and you kind of get tougher and stronger and better. And
Right.
you learn how to stay peaceful in the midst of chaos.
Right. And I think even like with me, I tell my kids, because I've got to a place as a mother, I could blank out a child, right? Like if they're crying, you don't really need nothing. You're not dying, you're good. Yet, for those who aren't used to it, they're like, you don't hear them crying? I'm like, who? All they want is attention. I'm going to get to them. Right, tune it up.
I think a lot of men do that to women. After a while,
You tune it out?
tune them out sometimes, right? And ain't really, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a natural thing. Like, you notice, like, when a woman is talking,
Uh-huh.
it's easy for guys to tune them out sometimes.
Well, that might be true. What I learned is that,
Y'all voices are soft, soothing.
so you're not taking that seriously.
So sometimes, yeah, even, with children, the mama say something, and her soft.
Right, and then dad said, everybody like,
Not
right.
really moving, but
Right.
Dad come in and say something.
Right.
Everybody jumps and moves. It's because of that.
Right. It's because of the tone and what's that, inflection of the voice, yeah. Yet when it comes to the male voice or the female voice, would you say that at some point in time you don't want to hear your lady speak? Like honestly, because I've known what I learned is that men take a lot of breaks. A lot of breaks. And they intentionally take us in their world. It's my life. It's my time. I'm going to take a break. And I tell women all the time, especially as parents, learn from your counterparts. Take a break. Most women would rather complain about not getting a break than just take a break. Opposed to a man who would just take a break. And I'm talking about mothers and fathers.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. As crazy as it sounds, I do think that there's a point where a lot of times at a certain point of the day, certain point where men just be like, oh, just I'm around my shorty, but I don't really want to talk to you. Talk that much.
Right.
Just sit pretty.
Right. Just be there. Right. Just be there. Is that something? But is that something that should be communicated? Like, hey.
Especially if y'all around each other
all the time, right?
And it's like sometimes just be right there and just be sure.
Because to me, I'm the type like I'm gonna drop a hint. Absence makes a hard girl find her. What that mean? I need you to go somewhere because I want to spend time with
For a
you.
little while, so I can come back and
Right. I'll meet me like 4 days later. Just we good. Because I know for me, I don't want to be. I don't want to be around somebody all that time.
Work 8 hours, I come home.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I guess some people get in a concept of clinginess, like because I'm with you.
I ain't going home today.
And that, hey, I'm letting you know I'm not coming home. I'm going to take a break. So I think that's encouraged if we learn from each other because like I tell them all the time, take your break. Don't talk about it, be about it. Just like having the boundary of I cannot be around my children 24/7. You need a break from the kids. You need a break from your mate because your husband's your biggest baby, they say. Because most times when they want to be around you, they right there. And it's like, could you go somewhere? Before me, there was you. You your own person. So it's having to, get to that point of setting boundaries for yourself and for those around you.
So when you think of boundaries, what comes to your mind first? Like what type of boundaries? What type of physical boundaries are you saying?
Like for me, time. I know I don't take calls after 8:30 at night. That's my time. If you call, you go, what? You don't need to call because my kids are here. There's my emergency. There's nothing else you got to call me about. Hit me up tomorrow morning and I'm going to talk to you then, right? So, and I don't want anything before 8 o'clock. I may be out at 5 o'clock in the morning, but I don't need you to call me before 8 o'clock. I'm going to be on banker's hours and everybody else, right? Another boundary could be respect me as I respect you. If you show me that level of disrespect, I got nothing to say to you. That's time. My time and my energy is more valuable than what you think you're reflecting or projecting onto me. A barrier, ooh, I've cut those down. I think I took the pliers to the fence. My barriers used to be allowing others to voice their this is the bad barrier. Allowing others to voice their opinion. I didn't give you your opinion. That's a little sarcastic, but it's a place of if I know that we're not connecting intellectually and I allow you to still speak on the level that you're on, that's my barrier because we're not on the same level. So I'm gonna allow you to speak that time and I'm gonna say, you know what? I respect your opinion. That's it.
So barriers are important when you're not on the same page or on the same frequency.
The same frequency.
It's important to have those barriers.
Right. And then even with those that are called loved ones, that's a barrier too. Because y'all showed me who you were. So don't get upset when somebody called me a verbal assassin. When I get at you without touching you. And I don't have to curse you out to let you know how I feel. Yet respect of a person. That's my thing. If you can respect what I'm saying and who I am, then we on the same page. And that all boils down to intentions. So you can have boundaries and barriers, yet what is your intention? And most times those that are climbing up that barrier fence, their intentions aren't good. Their intentions are more of control. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. This how we going to do it. And it's like, right. So it's like, let me cut the gate out and let's address it person to person, So it's interesting because boundaries, like I always say, men have high boundaries, minimal standards. Women have high standards, minimal boundaries. So that's why I say men and women, we can learn from each other on what a standard looks like opposed to what a boundary looks like. Because y'all would do what y'all want to do when y'all want to do it and what you don't want to do. Like I said, you're going to take the breaks. A woman would have her lifestyle set up high, like luxury, but will still tolerate something way below that frequency. Why? Okay. Intentions. Right. Okay. So, huh? Well, isn't hope for the hopeless?
I feel like hope has a lot to do with intentions. If you're hopeful about something, then that means you got good intentions and you want to see it work out. So,
Really?
I think being hopeful is not good with your intentions.
I think hopeful is like a fantasy. Because you're hoping, in your mind, you're hoping something works the way you want it to work. That's a fantasy, because reality could be, you know she ain't shit. Or you know that...
That's your intentions. What your intentions are for it to work out. So,
But that's the control, though, no? Because a control of hope. You're hoping that this environment works for your favor. No, that's your control.
is your intention. That's your intent.
That's control. Hope is a control. Right, because you're hoping for something to work in your favor. That's you controlling the narrative of somebody else who you can't control their emotions, their thoughts, or their actions. See? That's the fantasy. That's that imagination. Throw hope out the window. They do. But hope is a fantasy because you're hoping that everything works out. Let's say you start to go to school. I hope I'm going to graduate in 4 years. I hope I'm going to get that job that's going to pay me 7-8 figures. That's a fantasy because you know when you get out, you probably starting at 30,000. You and the 90 other thousand people that got that same degree, right? That's a hope. Yet reality could be the intention is control. Because you're trying to control the future.
Let's use that same one. You go to college. So how do you know what's your intention? Are you in college?
What's your passion? What's your passion? Are you doing it for the money? You see what I'm saying? Are you doing what's if you're a pat, let's say you go to
really the real reason why you're doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the hope is more geared toward what you want the outcome.
What you want it to look like. Right. The painted picture. Right. So let's say somebody asks you, what do you hope for in a wife? You're literally just painting a picture of what you want her to be. She gotta look like this, she got she gotta have this, gotta look like that in the back, all of that.
But your intentions is more attached to reality.
Yes, yeah. So that way, right.
Okay, so this is actually why I'm here.
This is why
I'm dealing with.
Right. And it could also be, honestly, that let's say you met up with her for a lesson to teach you about yourself. That's not even a hope anymore. I said, let's say you met up with her, the woman that you painted, right? You meet up with her, and there's a lesson in your spiritual growth to get with her. But you don't see that initially because you're hoping it's going to work itself out. You're hoping it's going to be great. Yet in reality, the only person that's getting a benefit out of that is you in the end, and that's personal growth. Because you're learning how to, you know what you don't want to do, you know what you're not going to tolerate, and you know who you can connect with organically. So you're learning, but it came through the form of a lesson. Most times we're looking at everything as a blessing, right? Because if it's not a blessing, it's a lesson. Nothing is ever bad in life. It's just the experience, right? That's how you look at it, right? So,
Negative or positive way.
right, but then it's still always a positive because you still get greatness out of the negative.
Some of your mistakes.
Right. Even when I can look at when I had my first son. Where's the wood? My only son. Okay. Huh? I have four. You got 3? My son's about to be 20, daughter's about to be 18, and then my twin's about to be 12. So yes. So with that situation, when I found out I was pregnant, my son at 6 weeks, my brother had just got murdered. So it was such a negative or not so good situation because my brother was just murdered. I found out I was pregnant. Yeah, so for me, I remember going to work every day crying like, do I want my brother back or this unborn child? No, when I couldn't get my brother back, I didn't know what risk was coming with this child. Right, baby's coming regardless, right. So I had to look at the positive, like, this is a gift out of what's going on. I had to keep telling myself that. Yet my intention wasn't to get pregnant. He said he couldn't have kids. So I didn't want any kids. Right. I was very gullible, very gullible. That's another segue, right? What time is it? Okay. He's stopping.